Easy question. Where do you think they are? School. You are right. You knew that with kids with their heads down, notebooks out, looking at a teacher must mean that they're at school. But what if I asked you to tell me when this was happening? Is it the 1700s, when our first universities were established? Is it the 1800s, when the majority of our public schools emerged? Or is it even today? The answer might be unclear because for centuries, school systems have looked largely the same. And unfortunately, this trend is likely to continue if our systems don't adapt and change. Educating the masses is important, but schools as we know them today were designed for people of their times, not of our times, not of today, not for us, and certainly not for them in future generations.
I know we watch or come to TED Talks to hear about idealistic ideas that could help solve big world problems. But let's cut to the chase. Most kids are not thriving, yet we have tons of research to support what works. Meet the kids where they are, connect with their interests, help them see the relevancy, and help create an environment that cultivates community and kindness so kids feel safe taking risks and growing. We know how the brain works. Sure, new information and tools arise, but it's the flexibility in being able to adapt and incorporate advancements is what sets systems, businesses, organizations, people, and schools apart. So today, instead, we're going to give you a look into ways schools can work to inspire and motivate young people to achieve uncapped excellence, not just in theory, but in practice. I mean, if we're here and we're supposed to be talking about what works for the next generation, why shouldn't you be hearing it from us? Am I right? That's right, this TED Talk is going to be different, so get ready to adapt and take a look at how our school of tomorrow works and why we think it's what most young people want and need for tomorrow.
Our school, Indi-ED, has reimagined every aspect of how schools we've known them work, which means the very essence of what learning can look and feel like has changed. We work in small cohorts so we all get what we need. We learn at our own pace, we learn about traditional content and what we're interested in, and we're constantly collaborating with the community to apply what we're learning to the real world. We are inspired to be human and uniquely who we are. We are supported academically and socially. We get to create, experience, connect, and lead our own journeys. We learn about a wide variety of subjects from a variety of experts in a more relevant, accelerated, and individualized manner. We've shattered the notion that school has to only happen within four walls. The world is our classroom. This can happen because there's no negative judgment, no arbitrary metrics. Our teachers have the freedom to support our needs. Our ideas are included in every step of the way, and our parents are seen as teammates in our educational journey. We all respect each other and work together so that our system works for each and every one of us.
We want more people to know what we know, that reimagined education is possible, that it doesn't have to be the traditional lectures, busy work, and unengaging content. We are constantly engaged in hands-on, minds-on learning, making connections to the real world and reflecting to adjust and improve. Lessons come to life when we learn about finance by replicating the stock exchange, and when we engage in Socratic discussions about current events like artificial intelligence. Getting to interview experts like world record holder Lisa Blair and local leaders at our monthly Community Connections event are inspiring experiences that motivate us, deepen our understanding, and open doors to what's possible. Sustainable architecture, economics, aeronautics, mental health, and leadership are a few of the hundreds of topics that we have chosen to study. Traditional education is limited. It's time for change, and that change is possible. We are doing it right now, and we owe it to the next generation to do even better.
As you've heard, big systems need to adapt in order to create a better future. But in order to do that, they must use creativity, effort, and problem solving, which are a few of the values taught to us at Indi-ED. Values serve as themes for our biannual inquiry projects. In addition to our traditional content, inquiries projects challenge us to ask big questions and follow our passions. Because we're not just given information to learn about, we're trusted with responsibility for our own education, research, connecting to experts, and to creating a final end product that communicates all of our ideas. Kind of like this TED Talk, but typically we get a few months instead of just a few weeks that we had for this. Without that kind of practice, we wouldn't have been able to pull this off. And I'm sure some of you have had to wing a presentation a couple of times, right? Good thing we took those improv classes this year. Why don't we pay our teachers like athletes again? We aren't just good on the fly, though. For example, when studying creativity and problem solving, we investigated ways to help our local environment. We committed to multiple cleanups throughout the year and were able to clean up 1 littler ton of trash. We also partnered with local businesses and even got to meet Dr. Jane Goodall. Give us freedom to be creative and we'll naturally solve problems. Then equip us with the skills to confidently move through the world and we'll investigate even bigger ideas. If we raise a generation without either academic prowess or compassionate heart, we will raise them into adults that do not care enough to solve problems. But if we can get up here and challenge big ideas, then you can too.
Additionally, kids are often overlooked and underestimated. There's a stereotype that kids are irresponsible and undetermined. It's known as the belief gap, the idea that we set the bar too low for what children are actually capable of. Particularly, this stereotype exists because we don't make the time to prepare children. Luckily, our school encourages us to take the lead and step into a variety of spaces that others don't expect us to dominate in. We have been encouraged to compete in global leadership competitions. We have been encouraged to interview founders of organizations. We have been encouraged to work on projects that tackle social justice issues and then create a little free library and get interviewed by BBC. And as middle schoolers, we have been encouraged to present at TEDx, which we are doing. At our school, it's all about encouragement, trust, effort, and preparing our students. And by doing those things, we help our students grow into amazing leaders who aren't afraid of a challenge. Leaders that will question ideas, share new ones, and work for a better future. It doesn't just have to be our school shaping new leaders. It can be accessible for students everywhere, if systems adapt.
Speaking of systems adapting, do you remember how we moved through the world during COVID? Big systems everywhere were forced to adapt. Some are used to it, some became agile, and some continue to resist change. Unfortunately, between 2020 and 2023, approximately 1.2 million teachers left their profession. While organizations that adapted and maintained what worked like a hybrid working environment now report higher employee retention, less burnout, and higher profits. Entire countries have made 4-day work weeks their norm. When views on work-life balance evolve, so should our systems. Indi-ED was moving towards a 4-day school week before the pandemic, and now we are comfortable in it. We know what you're thinking. How will they learn? Fear not. Our students earn degrees, scholarships, and work experience just like anyone else, and we walk with social skills that employers are seeking. Our teachers don't waste time teaching us what we already know. We don't have an overwhelming amount of assessments that take time away from our learning, and we are mentored in creating relationships which foundationally creates an environment that does not create behavior issues, which means we get more done at a higher level with less stress. We get to enjoy our youth, spend time with our families, and work on things we care about. And our teachers have the time to actually create these amazing learning opportunities. If you think about it, we're not just updating the educational system, we're creating a stronger community too.
Let's be real, we have no idea what jobs will look like in the future. So our community-based learning approach addresses concerns related to our holistic skill development, like problem solving, communication, and in fostering a genuine passion for learning. Skills will be helpful no matter the advancements in technology and industry. Our school promotes a deeper understanding, moving past traditional academic boundaries. And this is especially important with the narrative Florida is writing as we speak. Leadership is at the core of Indi-ED's drive, and we teach children how to think critically and engage in civil discourse and practice discernment. But we aren't the only ones with a radical approach to learning. We're part of a rising tide of leadership in the academic community. Indi-ED has showed many kids, including me, what school should look like. Not boring or stressful, but fluid. And I think I can speak for all my fellow students when I say that all kids deserve to learn like this, where we're not just preparing students for exams, we're arming them with knowledge, guidance, and self-assurance needed to navigate the complexities of life. Indi-ED is a place where students and families see that their voices matter, teachers feel respected, deep relationships emerge, students follow passions, families breathe easier knowing that their child is loved and respected, and students achieve more than they ever thought was possible.
The world is changing rapidly, but we're at a moment of opportunity. If we want a nation of healthy young people who can live up to their potential, family units who are confident in their educational choices, and communities that can conquer any challenge, then we need to be adjusting our approach to educating young people. And even if that means burning things down and collaborating to rebuild old systems, then we need experts in a variety of fields who are willing to step up and take that risk, but also many more who are willing to follow behind them and keep making change.
Instead of postponing solving tomorrow's problems into the indefinite future, we should all think of one thing that we can do to advocate for more autonomous systems. There won't be a one-size-fits-all solution for the next 100 years because things will continue to change. But given autonomy, adequate funding, and a mentality that supports agile systems, then schools can be places that we all want them to be for young people. Safe and enjoyable spaces for kids to learn and grow without limitation.
It's possible.
And it's time.
Thank you.